Hey, what's up? This is Divine Oblivion, and as you already know by the title, if you read it already, or if you follow my channel a lot, this is a very unusual video that I haven't done before. I'm trying to do a whole bunch of new stuff and videos. So, based off of the title, this is my review and what I think of Uncharted 4 so far. Okay, this is completely my opinion. However, I'm not gonna stop anyone from criticizing or telling me what they think about what my opinion. So go ahead, leave comments, tell me what you actually think about it. If you think I'm right, if you think I'm wrong. I want to hear everyone's opinion on Uncharted 4 and this type of game. And if you think this type of game is you'll figure out what I mean by, like, what do you think about this type of game. Okay, so now we have to get into it, but I may have to tell you a little story that, like, my game tastes have changed over the years. When I used to be a kid, I would play any game basically, and I would enjoy it because it got me so hyped. To me as a kid or a younger person that I am now, when I didn't experience as many games as I did right now, I used to thought everything was innovative and it was so awesome. I've never seen this before. It made me feel like I was in this different place other than the real world and all that good stuff. But now that I've played these games, some of them don't seem as innovative, especially a game that like Uncharted that was really innovative for its time. Once you go, this is the fourth game. That just means this game did the same thing 4 times. The real time it was innovative was when it was on its first and second time. So even though this is still the innovative franchise, the actual game itself isn't really that innovative. We could have gone without this story for a little bit of reasons. I would explain why we could have gone without this story. For it was just closure, basically. I'll explain that later. What I mean by that is like, okay, so this game brought newer stuff to the franchise that we haven't had before, like open world, like not open world, like open areas, very open areas. This game used to be very, very linear, and if this game kept that formula for this generation, I really wouldn't have liked it at all, to be honest. So the parts that really made me enjoy this game was the savannah, driving around the savannah, anything that had the jeep and driving around open places. Even the chase scenes were awesome. This game brought back a lot of the stuff I liked also, like the different set pieces of fallen buildings and getting chased through things that are falling, making you feel like it's crazy and life or death situation and stuff. It brought back those. One thing I'm not sure about is the puzzles. I know I'm going through this a little bit too fast, but those are the things I like about it. I may have been mistaken, but like this comes back to me being a kid and finding everything fascinating. But now that I'm here, I'm not sure if the puzzles used to be this easy in the other games, but for me, the puzzles weren't for Uncharted 4 weren't as interactive. They were too easy. The first puzzle, I didn't even know what I was doing, and I just decided, you know what, let me just do one thing. You know, the very first puzzle when we're in the prison? Yeah, that one. Yeah, I just decided, let me just choose one random thing, and I got the puzzle right. And I was like, well, that was easy. And the other puzzles didn't take any much brain work. I guess I'm thinking, I'm not sure if the puzzles in the other Uncharted's were this easy or if it was just that I was a kid when playing it, so they felt difficult and more interesting. So what I'm saying is the puzzles didn't give me the same. I have a few clips that I saved from the actual gameplay of things like the bell tower or clock tower, whatever it was. Different place, things like that. I may include them right in between bits and pieces of this gameplay, and little snippets of this. The bell tower when it was falling, and then the building that was falling when we were, those little set pieces I'll show you. Probably it's on right now. These things that you see right now, they are what I'm talking about that I enjoyed. I'm not gonna have the Savannah ride, but y'all know what I'm talking about. Just driving around in the Jeep and everything. I like that they included the little pulley thing on top of the Jeep and everything in front of the Jeep. That really made it awesome. Driving around the open areas made this game. If this game didn't come with that, then it would have really been bland and boring and thing. So what I want to say is I may be done with games that have mainly story games that are mainly story driven. That can be adjusted a little bit though, because like for example, The Witcher 3 has a lot of story, but you have like gameplay and stuff like that. And this has gameplay, but one thing I really don't like about games like this that have changed for me over the years is that I feel like games that resort to shooting in general come across as lazy. Like they can't find better gameplay things to do, so they just resort to the old school. Well, to me now it's like old school, just pick up a gun and then there's your gameplay. Like this isn't like the times when Call of Duty and all that stuff was really big, and those games were big and shooters were big because like those were very new to the thing. Now they're old, and like if I see a game with shooting, I just feel like the developers just said, "Oh, we need gameplay. Just pick up, use a gun, and have them go through different levels to get from one cutscene to the next." And even though Uncharted has always been like that and never bothered me, now it kind of does because like it. I don't know. I also want to talk about. I was expecting monsters or some type of things in this game. Like there was stuff like that in Uncharted 1 and 2, right? Where you had the zombies or the what do you call it? The snow thing, Bigfoot, what the one, the Yeti or something like that. And I was expecting monsters and stuff like that. Even though I understand they were chasing a pirate treasure, so it was all about pirates. The closest thing we got to monsters in this game was, or things with pirates, were the mummies and the blowing up traps and stuff like that. Like that wasn't really my type of thing. I was expecting some type of monsters. But I gotta come back and say the ending of this game got me so hyped. I really enjoyed it so much. They couldn't have ended this game any better than what they did. Like the sword fight was awesome. I'm happy. It was so close to QTE, to be honest. However, they did it perfectly. It was not QTE. It was like normal fighting. They just told you what type of buttons to press to dodge from left or to dodge from right, and then use the normal button as your melee button. So it wasn't anything like QTE. So that was awesome, and the sword fight was just so awesome. That whole scenery, everything in there was just so beautiful. Even the ship in the little cave on the water, whatever, that whole area was awesome. So there's things I still like, but I would say this game isn't like a game I would now that I know how it is. Like I wouldn't be buying it for $60 anymore. So basically what I would do is I would probably wait. So the next Uncharted games I do, whatever comes out, probably with his daughter or something like that, I would probably have to wait because like I'm not into games that don't really have gameplay. The gameplay is like the replayability value for me. So like if you don't have enough gameplay and it's only story driven and linear, I hate linear games now. That changed a lot. I used to play any game, I didn't really care. But I need to play a lot of games that aren't short, aren't linear, and have a lot of gameplay to them. This is one of the reasons why I may have fell in love with The Witcher 3, because that game has story and has gameplay and has like replayability value, or makes you play long after the story is finished. So that's the type of games I'm into now. This game, yes, like this game hasn't brought anything new to the table. What I mean by that is like The story is awesome. However, I felt like The Witcher 3 story was more in depth, more had more feeling to it with all its every single one of the characters. Even though between Nathan and Elena, their feeling was there and everything too. But with The Witcher 3, the story was really there. In The Witcher, the gameplay is slow, but it has good gameplay that could make you play even after the story is done. Unlike in The Witcher 3, the story once the story is done, there's no more gameplay for during the story. But let's just compare the two stories, The Witcher 3 and this story. I would say The Witcher 3 wins there. Now, when we go to gameplay, let's focus not story gameplay, let's focus on multiplayer gameplay. Now, Uncharted 4 doesn't even it pales in comparison to things like Call of Duty or Destiny or stuff like that. The multiplayer, because like the replayability value for Call of Duty and Destiny and stuff like that, multiplayer is way up there, and they do good stuff. And this game, multiplayer is really awesome, but like at the same time it's lacking. It has a little few game modes and everything like that. So like on the spectrum, if there's a game that does one thing better and there's a game that does another thing better than both things that your game has, then your game isn't really up there. Of course, so far out of all the games that came out for this year, I would say yes, Uncharted 4 may win the game of the year. So far for me it is game of the year, but that's gonna change once like not Kingdom Hearts. You know when Kingdom Hearts. Okay, let me get back on track. That's gonna change when Final Fantasy 15 comes out. Final Fantasy 15 is gonna have so much replayability, so much replay value, gameplay. The story is gonna be good. It may not be as good as The Witcher, but I'm sure it'll be on par with this game, because this game was just giving us gamers closure. It wasn't doing anything new for us in terms of story, really. The only new things it did for us was actually the free roam sections, really. So this game, the people of Naughty Dog understand that this game isn't very innovative anymore. So they just gave us closure. Probably the next game, Uncharted game with probably their daughter, will be different, like a lot of replayable value or whatever. But if it's like this, then I won't see myself buying it as soon as it comes out. Probably when the price goes down and stuff like that. Now this is making me rethink, because I really love The Last of Us. But probably The Last of Us wouldn't be a game that The Last of Us 2 wouldn't be a game that I would want to buy as soon as it comes out. I'll probably have to wait and get it cheap, because I'm not into games that are too short. I don't like my gaming sense has changed since a long time. So that's why I felt like I need to do a little talk on this. Tell me what you think, why you think I'm feeling like this, because I don't know why. I really love Uncharted, but I don't think it's a game that I would buy like that anymore. I would love to play this if it was less, but yeah. Yeah, it is my game of the year also though, but like once, like I said, when Final Fantasy 15 comes out, that's gonna change. Horizon Zero Dawn was gonna come out this year. Definitely that game was gonna compete with this and beat it for me, really. Okay, just to summarize everything up, this is basically why I'm telling you why I may be done with story-driven games, or mainly story-driven games, which is kind of like linear games, or what I would like to call short games. What I wanted to get across is I like open world games. I like gameplay. I like replayability. I need a story that gives me a reason why I'm doing this gameplay. But I think I may like gameplay over the story a little bit. I've always had that little argument in the back of my mind. Do I like games as story or gameplay? I think it's gameplay, but I still need the reasons why I'm playing the game. I also think games resorting to guns seem lazy. If you think I'm going too far with saying that, or if you agree with me, mention it in the comment section. I want to hear what other people say. This is not like a typical review. This is just me telling you how I feel about this game. And I really, really like this game. I love this series. But I think that this game understood that this needs to be its last game, basically. Like, the developers understood that. I think some gamers may not understand that, but some developers understand. Probably this is what happens to other games, but it's just that these developers realize that if you just start the series without making an ending, a closure, then people will want something from a dead series. So this is what I mean by, like, we could have gone without this story. They could basically, developers could have just told us that Nathan Drake is done, he's retired, without even giving us a game. But they wanted us to have closure, like, okay, we're not gonna be seeing him again, this is over, everyone got old, they're too old for this line of work, and let some new people take over. Probably this would allow for some innovative stuff. So leave in the comment section, subscribe to my. By the way, this isn't like a typical review. I'm not gonna give it like a score or anything, but I just want to talk about my feelings toward Uncharted 4 and my feelings toward gaming in general, and what has changed and what hasn't, and why stuff has changed. Probably some people feel like this also and never had someone to talk to about it, or they were feeling like this and having conflicting emotions with themselves and not wanting to listen to themselves. And when they say, oh, I feel like it's good, but why do I feel like I don't like it that much? Well, probably this was the reason. Leave a comment in the comment section, see what happens, because I want people to hear me out. I want to know why I'm feeling like this. But yeah, this was a good game, but in terms of games that I would really enjoy a lot and play a lot, this isn't there. What I would say though is I've really been enjoying trials that I've been doing. It is giving me a lot of challenge. So trials is a good side of this game. But once that's over, what's there left? A subpar multiplayer.